So on my way out the door, I'm grabbing a quick bowl of soup, and then I'm going home. So anywho, yeah, this morning my boss was fumbling with a name, and yeah, we all know who he was talking about, but he kept fumbling the name, so we're all giggling, and finally he gets the name right, and I'm still giggling, and yeah, he comes over to near my workstation to grab something, and I said to him, "Are you okay, sir?" And he just looks at me deadpan and says, "I'm not talking to you," and he goes to walk away, and I'm just laughing and laughing. And so his wife, the lady boss, comes over, and she looks at me and says, "Are you mocking my husband?" And I said, "Yeah." And she said, "Good." And then she walked away. It was funny as hell. So yeah, that's the kind of environment that I work in. It's entertaining, to say the least. And my irreverence for authority is allowed to run wild on the job. Yeah. So now I'm waiting at the bus terminal for the bus to go home, and I'm sitting outside because I'd rather sit outside even though it is minus 18 plus wind chill than sit inside where there's flu floating around. I don't want to be exposed to flu, so yeah, I'm going to sit outside. So anywho, it is the following day, and I'm on my way back into work again. And before I go in, I just wanted to give a friendly shout out to the rest of the world and say, hi, how you doing? How's life treating you? Hope everything is okay. Yeah, well, so I'm aware of the political situation globally with Donald J. Grump attempting to bully the rest of the world into submission and acquiescence to his every demand, and he's looking for small, weak countries to invade and conquer. And he's finding that they're not as common as he would like. Yeah. So anyway, I just wanted to take this time to point out and remind everybody that we all understand most Americans are basically decent people. They're a lot like Canadians, only not as well educated and not as well informed. Because, well, Americans do grow up with a very steady diet of American propaganda. And American propaganda is very, very effective. It's the best brainwashing tool ever developed. Absolutely. So the American public are not just uninformed, they are disinformed. They have been lied to consistently their entire lives. And yeah, the consequences are screamingly obvious. Yeah. But yes, by and large, the average American is basically good, decent, ethical, humane, reasonable, civilized, etc. The problem is that there is a vanishingly small minority who are in charge of everything. And that's the problem. That vanishingly small minority is a lot bigger than most of us would like, both Canadians and Americans. I think most Americans don't really feel comfortable with the sheer magnitude of that minority. The bad people of America have taken over, and they've put their guy in charge, and they are currently running the country into the ground and cheering as their guy, how shall we say, drills holes in the hull of the boat. Because they firmly believe that the end of the boat that they're standing on won't sink. Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. The firm belief that they can sink one end of a boat without sinking the other end. They're a minority. And you can see them, you can identify them by their red hats and the fact that they flip-flop on issues quite aggressively, having gone from being, we need more guns, to we need less guns, quite literally overnight. Yeah. The same way that their grandfathers went from being lifelong Democrats to lifelong Republicans when Ronald Reagan won them over. Yeah, I remember that. I was a kid back then, and I remember when Reagan brought the Dixiecrats into the Republican Party. And those same Dixiecrats are still there, calling themselves lifelong Republicans, the day after they abandoned the Democrat Party. Yeah, lifelong, as in just yesterday. Yeah. It's more than a little bit disturbing just how quickly these people switch sides and claim that they were always on the side that they just joined. So it is minus 15 still, but I'm outside in short sleeves and having a quick coffee break before I go back in to continue my shift. Quick coffee before lunch. Joy and bliss. As I was saying, the average American is basically a decent person, grossly disinformed by American propaganda that has successfully brainwashed them into believing a lot of absolute bullshit. But they're basically decent people. It's just getting through to them with the truth, overcoming the brainwashing, and getting them to accept reality. The bad ones, however, they know full damn well what's going on in the real world, and they just choose to lie because it's more convenient. I am, of course, talking about the red-crested, yellow-bellied white sheet. Yeah, also called the maggot. Yeah. Those are the bad people. And yeah, we would all be much better off without them, but unfortunately we're stuck with them. And hopefully their guy, their Mango Messiah, will finally eat one too many McDonald's greaseball burgers and choke on it. That would be nice. That would really be nice. But for some reason, it just doesn't seem to be happening. I mean, good people are dropping left, right, and center. And Herr shits his pants just keeps on going. I mean, come on. Die already. Seriously. Yeah. Fuck. So we have established that most Americans are basically good people, with a sprinkling of red-crested, yellow-bellied white sheets to make life interesting for the good people. Yeah. And we'll establish something else. America has had some good presidents, although their current one is quite possibly the worst one they've ever had. A bloated, flabby, syphilitic, slumlord turned reality TV show host who made frequent appearances on all-star wrestling shows and who, has the IQ of a carrot. A dumb carrot. But it is the yellow-bellied white sheets and their toxic orange god who are America's problem right now. And it's a problem that you need to fix before you find yourselves in a ground war in Iran that will end with the deaths of millions. Yeah. Of course, then again, he's got a bit of a god complex, and why not? His loyal worshippers believed everything he said back in the Obama years when they were calling themselves the teabaggers, with a complete lack of self-awareness then as well. Yeah. Fuck. Their orange god would tell them that Obama is a liberal, and they would believe him. even though he was obviously a conservative. He would say, Obama is a Muslim. And they would believe, even though it was obvious that he was a Christian. Yeah. And he would tell them, Obama is a communist. And they believed him then, too, even though it was obvious that he was a capitalist, a hard capitalist. A very hard capitalist. And their orange god even gave Obama's birthplace as anywhere but America, when in fact he was born on American soil. He was born in Hawaii after Hawaii became a state. So he was born an American citizen. Barack Obama was an American citizen. He was a Christian. He was a conservative and an ardent champion of capitalism. Yeah. But the teabaggers knew better because their orange god told them so. And of course, a man who lies about everything can certainly be trusted to tell the truth about a politician whose skin is just a little too dark for the liking of America's worst of the worst. So as I've said, most Americans are basically decent people who've just been brainwashed and indoctrinated to believe a lot of bullshit. The people who are actually causing the harm are a very small minority, being led by a particularly putrid and syphilitic orange stain that just refuses to go away. Yeah. Anyway, I wish all you Americans good luck rescuing your country from the particular noxious disease that has afflicted you. And hopefully your next government will be good enough to provide you with public health care. Affordable health care, finally, yes. That impossible dream that only every single country that has ever tried it have been able to make it work. Yeah. I hope you get public health care. I hope your unions come back. I hope your jobs come back. I mean, it's pretty shitty that Ronald Reagan shipped them all off to Asia. But yeah, I hope you get them back. And yeah, if your government tells you to invade Canada, tell them no. Take care.